this specific piece of music from its upbeat and firmly paced rhythm. And it was written by Lu Xu in 1943 with lyrics by Mu Hong. It's written in North China's Hebei province during the final years of China's war of resistance against the Japanese aggression.
That's right, and as we can hear, the power and passion conveyed through the song highlight the solidarity between the Eighth Route Army and the Chinese people in the war of their freedom.
It's when the whole nation was faced by a strong foreign enemy. You absolutely need unity. It doesn't matter which political party you're from, which specific part of China you're from. The whole nation should be united as one force against foreign aggression and invasion.
Exactly, and Chinese took pride in that moment in history, in fighting for their freedom, fighting for a better future of the nation and the people.
And the Communist Party of China is a pillar in that crucial fight against the foreign invasion.
Absolutely.
The song you're hearing now is called We Are Marching on the Great Road. It's a patriotic tune composed in 1962 by Li Zhifu, a famous songwriter in northwestern China. The Great Road in the lyrics is a metaphor for the revolutionary road under the leadership of the Communist Party of China.
Yeah, and this song's upbeat tempo reflects the resolve and optimism of the Chinese people to follow the party and to pursue a bright future for the country.
Yes, and you can sense the confidence in that piece of music, because back in 1962, China has just finished, the People's Republic really, just finished its first decade of socialist construction, and many great achievements have been made.
Yeah, for example, we mentioned earlier to achieve self-reliance, to shift from an agrarian society to an industrial revolution. And as we mark the centenary of the party, there's been a popular trend to study the history of the CPC in the lead up to celebrations, and this is to solidify people's identification with the party and then to really brush up their knowledge on our path of development.
And we're now in this new era of socialism with Chinese characteristics, and this Great Road is still stretching further.
Exactly.
This song is called Socialism is Good. It's a famous Chinese song composed in 1958, about a decade after the People's Republic of China was founded.
Yeah, and this is also a very positive tune. It expresses the writer's sincere feelings towards the party and socialism in really plain language. Well, it reflected nationwide enthusiasm and devotion to the construction of a socialist country. So we are listening.
Why it's good if you consider that specific period in history, because it's People's Republic. Finally, there is a nation for the people, led by a force comes from the people.
That's We are listening to the choir, and we'll be hearing 7 songs in total.
This song is called We Are the Heirs of Communism. It's the anthem of the Young Pioneers of China, a national children's organization.
Yes, it was originally the theme song of a 1961 film called Heroic Little Soldiers of the 8th Route Army. The movie told the real-life story of a group of children who helped reconnect a sabotaged telephone line during the Chinese Civil War to support the communists. So this is an expression of heroic deeds in an artistic form, and this is based on a true story. And some of the songs we will be hearing and the songs we just heard would be an expression of patriotism, and also some real-world issues that the party had gone through.
And the young people are really the hope and the future of this nation. If you recall, one of the recipients of the July 1st medal became a hero when she was only 14.
14, that's right. Yeah, vitality. The party has also been trying to attract more and more Chinese from the younger generation to join the league.
The song you are hearing now is called A New World, which debuted on the Chinese National Day in 2017.
Yeah, this is a relatively new song. It compares the Communist Party of China to a tree that takes roots deep in earth, highlighting the consistent interests and pursuits between the party and the Chinese people. In fact, not only songs like this, but also a series of exhibitions, as well as, tourists flocking to very important historical sites during the development paths of the party. And all these, reinforce the red genes of the 95 million strong membership and also the 1.4 billion Chinese.
And many of them are actually young faces. So that also partially tells the significance of this particular occasion. It's not only about looking back at a history, but more importantly, it's also about looking forward and keep striving for a better nation. And that's exactly this song is about. It expresses a positive outlook of the Chinese people for the nation's future.
That's right. And I totally agree with you that these songs not only look at the past, but also give us a broad outlook of where we came, where we are now, and where we are headed next.
Yeah, and you can also tell this by the lineup of all these songs.
Yeah. Now, this is a song that practically every Chinese person is familiar with. This is called "Without the Communist Party, There Would Be No New China."
By New China, we're talking about the People's Republic.
That's right.
The lyrics were written in 1943 by Cao Guoxin, then a 19-year-old member of an anti-Japanese publicity squad. The song got its name from an editorial of the same title in Jiefang Daily.
So this song demonstrates the people's solid support for the party and their firm belief in the party's leadership. If we take a good listen to it, we can see that the lyrics are pretty straightforward. And they say that only the Communist Party of China can lead the Chinese people to fight for independence and liberation.
Which is true.
It has stood the test of time.
And this song ranks among the favorites of the Chinese people in online polls for many times. We're watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square in central Beijing. This is the celebration marking the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of China. From those 7 songs and the atmosphere, this is absolutely, indeed, a great day for the nation.
Well, the red carpet is rolled out for the celebration. Honorary guards with national flags will march along the red carpet. And it looks like the weather is also cooperating on this day. There were forecasts of rain, but apparently it is holding up now.
That's right. And from where we stand, we can see that red flags are flying on the east and west sides of the Tian'anmen Square. 100 red flags, really marking 100 years of an epic journey made by the CPC. And in a short while, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, Xi Jinping, will deliver a keynote speech.
Yeah, this is truly a milestone for not only the Communist Party of China, but also for the nation and for the Chinese people. It grew from some over 50 members to 95 million strong. We're watching live feed on Tian'anmen Rostrum. The party's top leaders are entering the Tian'anmen Rostrum. You can see Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee. He, of course, is the Chinese president and also chairman of the Central Military Commission.
And Xi Jinping is with other members of the Politburo of the Standing Committee of the CPC Central Committee. You're watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square in central Beijing. This is a ceremony marking the centenary of the Communist Party of China. General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, Xi Jinping, is now on the Tian'anmen rostrum, along with other members of the Politburo of the Standing Committee of the CPC Central Committee. Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, Li Zhenhu, Wang Yang, Wang Huning, Zhao Leji, and Han Zheng are attending, along with Chinese Vice President Wang Qishan. Various government institutions, including the National People's Congress, the State Council, and the Central Military Commission, have sent delegates. Some long-time party members are also observing the event. We're watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square.
Yeah. And representatives from all China's 56 ethnic groups and wide cross-sections of the Chinese society are also attending the event. And now here comes the air flag guards.
A formation of helicopters is escorting the party's flag. And following the party's flag are 4 large slogans. They read, "Long live the great Communist Party of China. Long live the great Chinese people. Long live the great People's Republic of China. And long live the great unity of all ethnic groups of China." That's the helicopters formation flying over Chang'an Avenue and Tian'anmen Square.
That's right. Well, a total of 71 helicopters and fighter jets are now flying over the sky in the Chinese capital to pay tribute to the party, the nation, and the Chinese people.
And this is the first formation made by helicopters escorting the party flag.
Yeah. Well, and then the air formations will come up with different numbers, very significant numbers. For example, we have the J-10 jets. They are forming the number 7 and 1 to signify July 1st, and then 100 to mark the centenary of the party.
That's quite a symbolic shot, isn't it? It's number
party
100
emblem.
flying over the party emblem.
Indeed. And now we could see that this is the formation, forming the numbers 7 and 1 to signify July 1st. That's the birthday of the Communist Party of China. It was founded in 1921.
Flying over the monument to people's heroes.
These are very significant historical and historical
Indeed.
sites.
And
Monuments.
here come 3 formations of 15 J-20s. The J-20 is China's 4th generation of supersonic stealth fighters. This is their first large-scale showcase over Tian'anmen Square. This is China's most advanced fighter jet model. We've even got an inside look of the pilot.
This is a rare scene. I mean, it's
This is
once
absolutely
in a
the first
century.
time in the country's history.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, 10 planes are creating spectacular air rainbows over the Chang'an Avenue and Tian'anmen Square. Also spectacular.
Spectacular. We've seen similar air formations, not this model, but similar air formations to, celebrate or to mark major events in the Chinese capital in the past decade.
But some specific formations, for example, like the numbers 7, 1 and 100, are the first time.
Exactly. General Secretary of the Central Committee of the CPC, Xi Jinping, is on Tian'anmen rostrum, along with other members of the Standing Committee of the Politburo of the CPC.
You're
And
watching
then-
live footage from Tian'anmen Square, a celebration marking the centenary of the Communist Party of China.
And it will begin now.
Now, I would like to announce that the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of China now begins. Please all rise. First, the gun salutes.
"56 cannons representing China's 56 ethnic groups are being fired 100 times. To monument is dedicated to the men and women who struggled, bled, and in many cases made the ultimate sacrifice for the birth of the nation.
222 soldiers are marching forward to the flagpole, which is about 222 meters away from the monument to the people. Now the honor guards are escorting the national flag to the flagpole. And they're marching along with cannons firing. And the usual salute for a national celebration is 28 guns. That number represents the difficult and glorious course of the party from its birth in 1921 to the founding of the People's Republic in 1949, a duration of 28 years. But this time, the cannons will be fired 100 times, marking 100 years of the CPC's epic journey. Chinese President Xi Jinping and also General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee is attending.
This is indeed a solemn moment for the party and the nation. So on the 35th, 40th, and 45th national days, as you mentioned, 28 guns were fired, and 50 guns were fired on the 50th anniversary, and 60 guns were fired on the 60th. And also in recent years, for the military parade on September 3rd, 2015, 70 guns were fired.
You're watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square. This is the celebration marking the centenary of the Communist Party of China. Honor guards are escorting the national flag to the flagpole.
And in just a moment, General Secretary of the Communist Party of China, Xi Jinping, who is also the President of the People's Republic of China, will be delivering a speech marking this centenary celebration.
There are 222 soldiers in total.
The Communist Party of China was founded in July 1921 in Shanghai.
And in following 28 years, the CPC led the Chinese people in their struggle and eventually succeeded in overthrowing the rule of imperialism, feudalism, and bureaucrat capitalism with the founding of the People's Republic.
Raise the national flag, sing the national anthem. Please be seated. A joint congratulatory message from the Democratic Party, Federations of Industry and Commerce, and the personage without party affiliation. Now I would like to invite Vice Chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, Chairman of the Revolutionary Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang, Comrade Wan Exiang, to deliver the message.
Distinguished CPC Central Committee, distinguished General Secretary Xi Jinping, it has been a century of splendid history and remarkable achievement. As CPC celebrates its 100th anniversary, the Democratic Parties, Association of Industry and Commerce, and public figures without party affiliations hereby pay our highest tribute and sincere congratulations to the CPC, the strong leadership of the Chinese Revolution, construction and reform. In the past century, from the initial founding to the endurous long march, from the war of resistance to consultation on the founding of the nation, from the arduous tasks of early years to the 2 bombs and 1 satellite, from reform and opening up to the path of national rejuvenation. Generation after generation of CPC members have never ceased to work to improve people's livelihood and contribute to the national rejuvenation. The CPC has united people of all ethnic groups to make remarkable achievement and write an epic and splendid chapter in our history. We truly admire the CPC's efforts to stand out when a nation's survival was at risk, unite and lead people of all ethnic groups to overturn the three mountains, to win the new democratic revolution, to establish the PRC. For the first time in history, the Chinese people have stood up and became masters of their own country. We truly admire the great CPC's efforts to build the country from scratch, lead the people onto the socialist path, establish basic socialist system, construct independent and full-fledged industrial system and national economic system, and accumulate important experiences for socialist construction. We truly admire the great CPC's efforts to usher in a new era by making the historic decisions of reform and opening up. The CPC is the one that founded, committed to, and developed socialism with Chinese characteristics, unite and lead all people to realize the miraculous leap from a nation established in ruins on the second biggest economy of the world. We truly admire that the great CPC's efforts to write new chapters of socialism with Chinese characteristics. CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, always put people first, coordinate the national rejuvenation strategy, and cope with the unprecedented changes of the world. It leads the country to adapt to new development stage, carry on new development concept, build new development pattern, and commit to high-quality development. It safeguards national sovereignty, security, and development interests. It advocates new international relations and community of a shared future for mankind. The party and country have made historical achievement and realized historical transformation. Facing with the COVID-19 outbreak, the CPC unites and leads people of all ethnic groups to win the dual battles of disease prevention control and social and economic development, and win the battle against poverty, comprehensively build the moderately prosperous society, and embark on the new journey of comprehensively building a modern socialist country. The national rejuvenation has taken a remarkable stride. The CPC-led system of multi-party cooperation and political consultation is a great political invention based on Chinese reality. 70 years ago, the democratic parties and public figures without party affiliations collectively and voluntarily chose to work under the CPC. As the witnesses, practitioners, and protectors of socialism with Chinese characteristics, we have never forget our mission. We think together, stand together, and work together with the CPC. China today, under the strong leadership of the CPC, is closer to national rejuvenation than ever before, and is more confident and capable to achieve that goal than ever before. We firmly believe that with the steering of General Secretary Xi Jinping, with the guidance of Xi Jinping's thoughts for socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, With the strong leadership of the CPC, the Chinese nation will overcome all difficulties that come our way. Let us unite close around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, act as loyal advisors, assistants, and colleagues to the CPC in order to make greater contribution to comprehensively build a modern socialist country and realizing the Chinese dream of great national rejuvenation. We wish eternal youth for the CPC. We wish a promising future for socialism with Chinese characteristics. We wish our great country long and eternal prosperity. Revolutionary Committee of the Chinese Kuomintang, China Democratic League, China Democratic National Construction Association, China Association for Promoting Democracy, These Peasants and Workers' Democratic Parties, China Zhigong Party, the 90, Taiwan Democratic Self-Government League, and China Federation for Industrial Commerce, and public figures without party affiliations. July 1st, 2021. Now the young pioneers and youth league members will now deliver their congratulatory message.
Today, standing at the Tian'anmen Square, we are this close to the heart of the motherland. Today, we praise people's heroes for their glorious achievements and witness their dreams come true. Today, we salute to the CPC as youth. Through 100 years of history, the Communist Party of China is in the prime life. Today, we make a promise to the party on behalf of the youth. In the next 100 years, listen to the party, appreciate the party, go with the party. Forge ahead to our destination with one heart to the party. My mom tells me that the look of the CPC in everyone's heart is the same, a glorious image. The party is the rising sun, dispelling darkness, bringing light to make our lovely country based in hope. The party is a flag flying high because it declares faith and points out the direction to steer the cause of the country to the future. My teacher tells me that a century ago, the Communist Party of China was born in the old country, and it spreads the fire of faith to shine brightly with the light of truth. This light inspires the revolutionary ideals on Jingangshan Mountain because we believe a single spark can start a prairie fire. And the light illuminated the light of path of the long march, so the seemingly insurmountable could be overcome. These lights lit up national hope on Pagoda Hill to defend North China and the Yellow River. This light witnessed the event, 1 million strong troops across Yangtze River, bring epoch-making changes to the country. Look, the first 5-star red flag was raised in Tian'anmen Square, marking that Chinese people have since then stood up. People have started to run the country and build a new China. This is the passion of the Chinese people, full of pride. Listen, what a loud and clear military sound of resisting U.S. aggression and aid Korea to protect China. Listen, what a powerful vow made by the airmen in the Dating oil field. And listen, what a earth-shaking sound from the east by the 2 bombs and 1 satellite. Listen, what a heroic moment and movement in Pride Flag Canal and step forward to rise to the occasion where the country needs us the most. The South China Sea waves with the wind blowing from the east. The story of spring was spread out. In the story, we have seen the people in the special economic zone dare to take the lead. And in the story, we have seen Hong Kong and Macau return to the motherland. And in the story, we have seen Tibet Railway was built, connecting unity and progress. And we have also seen a torch of Olympic Games kindle the flame of confidence and self-strengthening. United together and realize China. From regaining dignity to becoming prosperity and strong, the clarion call for a new era is sounding across China. Poverty alleviation has achieved, and people now live in a decent life. We uphold the people-centered philosophy. Chang'e Lunar Probe and Jiaolong Submersible are the examples of major projects of China amazing the world. And strong science and technology make the country strong. Ecological civilization featuring green and low carbon make a beautiful China. And lucid water and large mountain and invaluable assets. Peaceful development for win-win cooperation and Belt and Road Initiative enable us better connected and in order to build a shared future for mankind. New stage, new thoughts, and new paradigm of development. Chinese path and Chinese miracle win the plot around the world. Seeking happiness for the people and national rejuvenation for the nation. Meeting people's evergreen needs for a better life. This is an unfailing commitment. And the nation is composed of the people, and the people are all that matter to the nation. Dream is ahead. The road is underfoot. As dream chaser, we are ready to realize the second centenary goal, to realize the great dream of national rejuvenation. We are ready to fight for the cause of socialism, and will always be prepared. Remember our aspiration, stay youth and vigorous. Aim high and look far. Over 100 years, we're still young. Strive for the dream as youth and dedicate ourselves to the party. Please rest assured, we are the ones to make our country strong. Please rest assured, we are the ones to make our country strong. And please rest assured, we are the ones to make our country strong. Now, please allow me to invite General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee, Chinese President, Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, to deliver important speech.
Comrades and friends, today, the 1st of July, is a great and solemn day in the history of both the Communist Party of China and the Chinese nation. We gather here to join all party members and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups around the country in celebrating the centenary of the party. Looking back on the glorious journey the party has traveled over 100 years of struggle, and looking ahead to the bright prospects of the rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. To begin, let me extend warm congratulations to all party members on behalf of the CPC Central Committee. On this special
我
occasion,
代表党和人民
it is my honor
庄严宣告，
to declare on behalf of the
经
party
过
and the
全党
people
全国各
that
族人民
through the continued
持续
efforts
奋
of
斗
the，whole party and the entire
我
nation,
们实现了第一个
we have
百年
realized
奋斗
the
目标，
first centenary goal of
在中华大地上
building
全面
a
建成了
moderately
小康社会，
prosperous society
历史性
in
的解决
all
了绝
respects.
对贫困问题，
This means that we have brought
正在意气
about
风发，
a historical
向着全
resolution
面建
to the
成
problem
社
of
会主义
absolute
现代化
poverty in
强
China,
国
and we
的
are now
第
marching
二
in
个
confident
百
strides
年奋斗目
toward
标
the
迈进。
second centenary goal of building China into a great modern socialist country in all respects.
这是中华民族的伟大光
This
荣，
is a great and
这
glorious
是
accomplishment
中
of the
国
Chinese
人民
nation
的伟大光荣，
for the Chinese people
这是中国共产党
and
的
for the
伟大
Communist
光荣。
Party of China.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
中华民族是世界上
the Chinese nation
伟大的民族，
is a great nation
有着5000多年源远
with a
流长
history
的
of more than
文明历
5,000
史，
years.
为人类文明进步做出了
China
不
has
可
made
磨灭的贡
indelible
献。
contributions to the progress of human civilization.
1840年
After the
鸦
Opium
片
War
战争以
of
后，
1840,
中国逐步成为
however, China
半殖
was
民地、
gradually
半封
reduced
建社会，
to semi-colonial,
国
semi-feudal
家蒙
society
语，
and
人
suffered
民
great
蒙难，
ravages
民文明蒙尘，
than ever
中华
before.
民族
The
遭受
country
了
endured
前所未有的
intense
劫难。
humiliation. The people were subjected to great pain, and the Chinese civilization was
从那时
plunged
起，
into darkness.
实现中华民族伟大复兴，
Since that
就
time,
成为中国人
national
民
rejuvenation
和中华
has
民族
been the
最
greatest
伟大的
dream
梦想
of。the Chinese people and the Chinese nation.
为了拯救民族危亡，
To save the nation from peril,
中国人民奋起反
the
抗，
Chinese people put up a
人人
courageous
志士
fight
奔走呐喊，
as noble-minded patriots
太
sought
平
to pull the
天国
nation
运动
together. The Taiping
戊
Heavenly
戌
Kingdom
变法
movement, the Reform movement
义和
in
团运动
in
辛亥革
1898,
命
the Yihetuan
接
movement,
连而起，
and the revolution of 1911
各种救国
rose
方
one
案
after another,
轮番
and
出
the
台，
variety of plans were
但都
devised
以
to
失
ensure
败
national
而告
survival,
终。
but all of these ended in failure.
中国迫切需要新的思
China
想，
was
引
in
领
urgent
救亡运
need
动，
of new ideas
迫切需要
to
新
lead
的
the
组
movement
织。
to save the
凝聚
nation and a new
革命力量。
organization to rally revolutionary forces.
10月革命一声炮响，
With the salvos of Russia's
给
October
中国
Revolution
送来了
in
马克思列宁主义，
1917, Marxism-Leninism was brought to
在
China.
中国人民和中华民族
Then,
的伟大
In
觉醒中，
1921, as the Chinese people and Chinese
在
nation
马克思
were
列宁主
undergoing
义
great awakening and
同
profound
中
social
国
changes
工人
in
运动
history,
的紧密结合中，
was becoming closely integrated with the
中国共产党
Chinese workers' movement.
应运
The Communist
而
Party
生
of， China was born.
中国产生了共产党，
The founding of a Communist Party
这是
in
开
China
天辟地的
was an
大事变，
epoch-making event,
深刻改变了近代以后
which profoundly changed the course
中
of
华民
Chinese
族发展
history
的
in
方
modern
向和进
times.
程，深刻改变了中国人民
Transformed
和
the
中华
future
民族
of the
的
Chinese
前途
people
和
and
命运。
nation.
深刻改变了世界发展的趋
and
势
altered the
和
landscape
格局。
of world development.
中国共产党一经诞生，
Since the very day of its founding,
就把为中国人民谋幸
the
福
party has made
为中华
seeking
民族
happiness for the
谋复
Chinese
兴
people
确
and
立为自己
rejuvenation
的
for the Chinese
初心
nation
使命。
its aspiration and mission.
100年来，
All the
中国
struggle,
共产党
sacrifice,
团结带领中国人
and
民
creation
进
through
行的
which the
一
party
切奋斗，
has united and led the
一切
Chinese
牺牲，
people over the past
一切
100
创造，
years
归结起来，就是一个主题：
has been tied together by
实现
one
中
ultimate
华民
theme,
族伟大复
bringing
兴。
about the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation.
为了实现中华民族伟大复兴，
To realize national
中国
rejuvenation,
共产党团结带领中
the
国人
party
民
united and led the Chinese
浴血
people
奋战，
in fighting bloody battles with unyielding
创造了新
determination,
民主主义革命的
achieving
伟大成
great
就。
success in the new democratic
我
revolution
们经过北伐战争、
through the Northern
土
Expedition,
地革命战争、
the Agrarian Revolutionary
抗日
War,
战争、
the war of resistance
解放
against
战争
Japanese aggression, and the war of
以武
liberation.
装的革命
We fought
反对武装的反革命、
armed counter-revolution with armed
推翻
revolution,
帝国主义、
toppling the three
封建主义、
mountains of
官僚资本主
imperialism,
义、
feudalism,
三座
and
大山，
bureaucratic capitalism,
建立了人民当家作
and
主的，
establishing the
中华
People's
人民共和国，
Republic of China,
实现了民族独立，
which made the
人民
people
解放。
masters of the country. We
新
thus
民主主义
secured
革
our
命的胜
nation's
利，
independence and liberated our
彻
people.
底结束了
The victory of the new
旧中国
democratic revolution put an
半
end
殖民地、
to China's
半封
history
建社会的
as a
历史，
semi-colonial, semi-feudal society
彻底结束了旧中国一盘散沙
to
的
the
局
state
面，
of total disunity that existed
彻底
in
废
old
除
China,
了列强强加给中国的不平
and
等
to
条
all
约
the unequal treaties
和帝国主义
imposed
在中
on
国
our
的
country
一切特
by
权。
foreign powers and all the privileges that
为实现
imperialist powers
中华
enjoyed
民族
in
伟大
China.
复兴创
It
造了
created
根本
the
社会条
fundamental
件。
social conditions for realizing national
中
rejuvenation.
国共产党和中国人民
Through tenacious
以
struggle,
英勇顽强的奋斗，
the party and the Chinese
向世
people
界
showed the
庄严
world
宣告：中国人民
that
站起来
the
了！
Chinese people
中
had
华民族
stood up,
任人宰
and that
割
the，time
饱受
in
欺
which
凌
the
的时
Chinese
代
nation could be
一去不
bullied
复
and
返
abused by
了。
others was gone forever.
为了实现中华民族伟大复
To
兴，
realize national rejuvenation,
中国共产党团结带领
the
中国
party
人民
united and led the Chinese
自力更
people
生，
in endeavoring to build a stronger China with a
创造
spirit
了社会主义革
of
命和建设的
self-reliance,
伟大成就。
achieving great success in socialist revolution
我
and
们进行
construction.
社会主义革命，
By carrying out socialist revolution,
消灭在中国延续几千年
we
的
eliminated
封
the
建、
exploitative
剥削、压迫
and
制度，
repressive feudal system that had
确立
persisted in China for
社会主
thousands of
义
years
基本制度，
and established socialism as our
推进
basic system.
社会主义建设，
In a process of socialist construction,
战胜帝国主义、霸权主
we
义的
overcame
颠覆
subversion,
破坏，
sabotage, and
和武装
armed
挑衅，
provocation by imperialist and
实现
hegemonic
了中华
powers,
民族有史以来
and brought about the most extensive and profound social changes in history of the Chinese nation. This great transformation of China from a poor and backward country in the East with a large population into a socialist country laid down the fundamental political conditions and the institutional foundation necessary for realizing national rejuvenation. Through tenacious struggle, the party and the Chinese people showed the world that the Chinese people were capable of not only dismantling the old world, but also building a new one. That only socialism could save China, and that only socialism with Chinese characteristics could develop China. To realize national rejuvenation, the party united and led the Chinese people in freeing the mind and forging ahead, achieving great success in reform, opening up, and socialist modernization. We established the party's basic line for the primary stage of socialism. Resolutely advanced reform and opening up, overcame risks and challenges from every direction, founded, upheld, safeguarded, and developed socialism with Chinese characteristics, thus bring about major turn with far-reaching significance in the history of the party since the founding of the PRC. This enabled China to transform itself from a highly centralized plan economy to a socialist market economic brimming with vitality, and from a country that was largely isolated to one that is open to the outside world across the board. It also enabled China to achieve the historical leap from a country with relatively backward productive forces to the world's second largest economy, and to make the historical transformation of raising the living standards of its people from bare substance to an overall level of moderate prosperity, and then ultimately to moderate prosperity in all respects. These achievements fuel the push toward national rejuvenation by providing institutional guarantee imbued with new energy as well as the material conditions for rapid development. Through tenacious struggle, the party and the Chinese people show the world that by pursuing reform and opening up, a crucial move in making China what it is today, China has caught up with the times in great strides. To realize national rejuvenation, the party has united and led the Chinese people in pursuing a great struggle, great project, a great cause, and a great dream through a spirit of self-confidence, self-reliance, and innovation, achieving great success for socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era. Following the party's 18th National Congress, socialism with Chinese characteristics entered a new era. In this new era, we have upheld and strengthened the party's overall leadership, ensured coordinated implementation of the five-sphere integrated plan and the four-pronged comprehensive strategy, upheld and improved the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics, modernized China's system and capacity for governance, remained committed to exercising rule-based governance over the party, and developed a sound system of inter-party relations. We have overcome a long list of major risks and challenges, fulfilled the first centenary goal, and set out strategic steps for achieving the second centenary goal. All the historic achievements and changes in the cause of the party and the country have provided the cause of national rejuvenation with more robust institutions, stronger material foundations, and a source of inspiration for taking greater initiative. Through tenacious struggle, the party and the Chinese people have shown the world that the Chinese nation has achieved a tremendous transformation from standing up and growing prosperous to becoming strong, and that China's national rejuvenation has become a historical inevitability. Over the past 100 years, the party has united and led the Chinese people in writing the most magnificent chapter in the millennium-long history of the Chinese nation, embodying the dauntless spirit that Mao Zedong expressed when he wrote, "Our minds grow stronger for the martyr's sacrifice, daring to make the suns and moons shine in a new sky." The great paths we have pioneered, the great cause we have undertaken, and the great achievements we have made over the past century will go down in the annals of the development of the Chinese nation and human civilization. Comrades and friends, 100 years ago, the pioneers of communism in China established the Communist Party of China and developed the great founding spirit of the party, which is comprised of the following principles: upholding truth and ideals, staying true to our original aspiration and founding mission, fighting bravely without fear of sacrifice, and remaining loyal to the party and faithful to the people. This spirit is the party's source of strength. Over the past 100 years, the party has carried forward this great founding spirit. Through its protracted struggles, it has developed a long line of inspiring principles for Chinese communists and tempered distinct political character. As history has kept moving forward, the spirit of the party has been passed on from generation to generation. We will continue to promote our glorious tradition and sustain our revolutionary legacy so that the great founding spirit of the party will always be kept alive and carried forward.
同志们、朋友们
Comrades and friends,
，100年来我们取得的一切成就，
we owe all that we have achieved over the past 100 years
中国人民
to the concerted efforts to the Chinese communists,
团结
the
奋斗的
Chinese
结果。
people, and the Chinese nation.
以毛泽东同志、
Chinese communists
邓小平
with
同志、
comrades Mao Zedong, Deng
江泽
Xiaoping,
民同志、
Jiang Zemin,
胡锦涛同志
and Hu Jintao
为主要代表
as
的
their chief
中国共产党人，
representatives
为中华民族
have made
伟大复兴
tremendous and historic
建立了
contributions
彪炳史册的伟大功
to
勋。
the rejuvenation of the
我们
Chinese
向他们表
nation.
示崇高
To
的
them,
敬意。
we express our highest respect.
此时此刻，
Let us take this moment
我们深切怀念
to cherish
为中
the
国革
memory
命建设改
of
革、
comrades
为中国共产党
毛泽
建
东
立、巩固、发展做出
周恩
重大
来
贡献的毛泽东、周恩来、刘少奇、
刘少奇、
朱德、
朱德、
邓小
邓小平、
陈云同志
陈
等
Yun, and other
老一辈
veteran revolutionaries
革命
who
家
contributed greatly to China's revolution
深切怀
construction
念
and reform, and to
为
the
建
founding,
立
consolidation, and
建设
development
新中国
of the Communist Party of
英勇
China.
牺牲的
Let us cherish the
革命先
memory
烈
of the revolutionary martyrs who bravely
深切怀
laid
念
down their lives to establish,
为改
defend,
革开放
and develop the People's Republic.
和社会主义现代
Let
化
us
建设
cherish the memory of
英勇
those
献
who
身的
dedicated their lives
革
to
命烈士
reform, opening up, and
深刻怀
socialist
念
modernization.
近
And
代
let
以
us
来
cherish the
为
memory
民族独立
of all the men
和
and
人
women
民解
who
放
fought tenaciously
顽强奋
for
斗的
national
所有
independence and the
仁人志士
liberation of people in
他们
modern times.
为祖国和民族建立的丰功伟绩，
Their great
永载史
contributions
册
to our motherland and
他
our
们的
nation
崇高精神
will be
永远
immortalized in
铭
the
记
annals
在
of
人民
history,
心中
and their noble spirit will live on forever in the hearts of the Chinese people.
人民是历史的创造者，
The people are the true
真正的英雄。
heroes, for it is they who create
我
history.
代表党中央、
On behalf of the CPC
向全
Central
国
Committee,
广大工
I
人
would like to
农民
pay my highest respects
分子
to workers, farmers, and
向各民主
intellectuals
党派
across the country,
和无党派人士
to
各
other
人民
political
团体
parties, public figures
各界
without
爱国人
party
士
affiliation, people's
向人
organizations,
民解放军指战
and
员、
patriotic figures from
武
all
警
sectors
部
of
队
society,
官兵
to all members of the People's
公安干
Liberation
警
Army,
和消防
the People's Armed
救援队伍
Police
指战员
Force, and Public Security Police,
向全体
and the
社会主
Fire
义劳动者
and Rescue Services,
向
to
统一
all
战线
socialist working
广大
people,
成员
and to
致以
all members of
崇高
United
的敬意。
Front.
向香港特别行政区同胞
I would like to extend
澳门特
my
别行
sincere
政区同胞
greetings to
和
compatriots
台湾同
in
胞
Hong Kong and Macau
以及广大
special
侨胞
administrative regions and
致以
in Taiwan,
诚
as
挚的
well as
问
in
候
overseas Chinese.
向一切同
And
中
I
国
would
人
like
民友好
to
相处，
express my heartfelt
关
gratitude
心和支持
to
中国
people
革命
and friends from
建
all
设
around the world
改革事
who
业的
have shown
各国
friendship
人民和朋
to the
友，
Chinese people
是
and
以
understanding
衷
and
心的
support
谢意
for China's endeavors in revolution, development, and reform.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
初心易得，始终难守。
though our party's founding mission is easy to
以史为
define,
鉴，可以知
ensuring that
兴
we
替。
stay true to this mission is more difficult
我们要
task.
用历史
By
映
learning
照
from
现实，
history, we can understand
远
why
观未来。
powers rise and fall. Through the mirror
从
of
中国共
history,
产党的
we can
百年
find
奋斗
where
中，
we currently stand
看
and gain
清楚过
foresight
去
into the future.
我们为什么能够
Looking
成
back
功，
on the party's
弄
100-year
明白
history,
未来
we can see why
我
we
们
were
怎样才
successful in the
能继
past
续成功，
and how we can continue to
从而
succeed
在
in the
新的
future.
征程上更加坚
This
定，
will ensure that
更
we
加自
act
觉地
with
牢记初
greater
心使命，
resolve and
开创
purpose
美好未来，
in staying true to our founding mission and pursuing a better future
以史
on a
为
new
鉴，
journey that lies
开创
before
未来。
us.
必须坚持中国共产党坚强领导，
We must uphold the firm leadership of the party.
办好中国的事情，
China's success
关键
hinges
在党。
on the party.
中华民族近代以来180多年的历史，
The more than
中国
180-year-long
共产党成立以来
modern history of the Chinese nation,
100年的历史，
the 100-year-long history of the party,
中华人民共和国成立以来70多年的历史，
and the more than 70-year-long
都充分证
history
明
of the People's
没
Republic
有
of
中国共
China
产党，
all
就
provide
没有
ample
新中国，
evidence that without the Communist
就
Party
没有
of
中
China,
华民族
there will
伟
be
大复
no
兴。
new China and no national
历史
rejuvenation.
和人民选择了中
The
国共
party
产
was
党。
chosen by history and the people.
中国共产党领导是中国特色社会主义
The leadership
最
of the
本质的特
party
征，
is the defining feature of
是中
socialism
国特色
with
社会主义
Chinese
制度的最
characteristics
大优势，
and constitutes the greatest
是党和
strength
国家的根本
of the
所在，
system. It
命
is
脉
the
所在，
foundation and lifeblood of the
是全国
party
各族
and
人
the
民的利益
country
所系。
and the crux
命运所系。
upon which the interests and well-being of all
新
Chinese
的征程
people
上，
depend.
我
On the
们
journey
必须
ahead,
坚持党的
we
全
must
面领导，
uphold the party's overall
不断完
leadership
善党的领导，
and continue to enhance its
增
leadership.
强4个意识，
We must be deeply conscious of
坚
the
定
need
4个自信，
to maintain political integrity, think in
做
big
到
picture terms, follow
两个维
leadership
护，
core, and keep in alignment with the central
牢
party
记
leadership.
国之
We
大
must
者，
stay confident in the past, theory
不断提
system,
高
and
党科
culture
学
of
执政、
socialism with
民
Chinese
主执政、
characteristic. We must
依法
uphold
执
the
政
core
水
position
平，
of the General Secretary
充分发
of
挥
the
党总揽全局，协调各
Party
方的
Central Committee
领导
and
核
in the
心作
party
用，
as a whole, and uphold the Central Committee's authority and the centralized unified leadership.
以史为鉴，开创未来，
As we put conscious effort into learning from history to create the bright future, we must bear the following in mind. We must unitedly lead the Chinese people in working ceaselessly for a better life. This country is its people, and people are the country. As we have fought to establish and consolidate our leadership over the country, we have in fact been fighting to earn and keep the people's support. The party has in the people its roots, its lifeblood, and the source of strength. The party has always represented the fundamental interests of all Chinese people. It stands with them through thick and thin and shares a common fate with them. The party has no special interests of its own. It has never represented any individual interest group, power group, or privileged stratum. Any attempt to divide the party from the Chinese people or to set people against the party is bound to fail. The more than 95 million party members and the more than 1.4 billion Chinese people will never allow such a scenario to come to pass.
On the journey ahead, we must rely closely on the people to create history, upholding the party's fundamental purpose of wholeheartedly serving the people. We will stand firmly with the people, implement the party's mass line, respect the people's creativity, and practice a people-centered philosophy of development. We will develop whole process people's democracy, safeguard social fairness and justice, and resolve the imbalances and inadequacies in development. And the most pressing difficulties and the problems that are of great concern to the people. In doing so, we will make a more notable and substantive progress toward achieving well-rounded human development and common prosperity for all. We must continue to adapt Marxism to the Chinese context. Marxism is the fundamental guiding ideology upon which our party and country are founded. It is the very soul of our party and the banner which it strives. The Communist Party of China upholds the basic tenets of Marxism and the principle of seeking truth from facts. Based on China's reality, we have developed keen insights into the trends of the day, seized initiative in history, and made painstaking explorations. We have thus been able to keep adapting Marxism to the Chinese context and the needs of our times, and to guide the Chinese people in advancing our great social revolution. At the fundamental level, the capability of our party and the strengths of socialism with Chinese characteristics are attributable to the fact that Marxism works. On the journey ahead, we must continue to uphold Marxism, Leninism, Mao Zedong thought, Deng Xiaoping theory, The theory of three represents
科学发展观
the scientific outlook on development
全面贯彻新时代
and fully implement the thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics
坚持
for
把
a new
马克
era.
主义基本
We
原理
must continue to adapt the basic tenets of Marxism to China's specific realities
同中华优秀传统文
and
化
its fun
相结合
traditional culture.
用马克思主义
We will use Marxism to
观察时代
observe,
把握时代
understand,
引领时代
and steer the trends of our
继续发
times,
展当代
and continue to develop the Marxism of contemporary
21
China
世纪
and in the 21st century.
以史为鉴，开创未来，必须坚持和发
We
展
must uphold
中国
and
特色社
develop
会主义，
socialism with Chinese characteristics.
走自己的路，
We must follow our
是党
own
的
paths.
全部理
This
论
is
和
the
实践，
bedrock that underpins all the theories and
更
practices
是
of
党
our
百年
party.
奋斗得出的
More
历史
than
结
that,
论。
it is the historical conclusion our party has
中国
drawn
特色
from
社
its
会主义
struggles
是
over
党
the
和人
past
民历
century.
经千辛万苦
Socialism with Chinese
付出巨
characteristics
大代价
is
取得的根
a
本
fundamental achievement of the party and the people,
是实现中华
forged
民族
through
伟大复
innumerable
兴的
hardships
正
and
确
great
道路。
sacrifice, and it is the right path for us
我们
to
坚持
achieve
和发展
national
中国特色
rejuvenation.
社会主义，推动
As we have upheld and developed socialism with Chinese characteristics and driven coordinated progress in material, political, cultural, ethical, social, and ecological terms,
创造了中国式
we have
现代
pioneered
化新道
a
路，
new and uniquely Chinese
人
path
类文明
to
新
modernization
形态。
and created a new model for human
新的征程上
advancement.
我
On
们
the
必须
journey
坚持党
ahead,
的基本理
We
论、
must adhere to the party's
基本
basic
路线
theory, line,
基本方略，
and policy,
统筹推进五
and
位体系
implement
路
the
线
five-sphered integrated plan and the
4个全面
four-pronged
战略
comprehensive strategy.
全面深化
We
改革
must
开
deepen
放
reform and open it up across the board,
新发展阶段，
ground our work in this new stage of development, fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy and foster a new pattern of development. We must promote high-quality development
推进科技
and
自立
build up
自强
our country's strengths in science and technology.
人民
We must
当家作主
ensure it is our people who run the country,
依法治国，
continue to govern based on the rule of law, and uphold the core socialist
坚
values.
持在发展
We
中
must
保障和
ensure
改
and
善
enhance
民生
public well-being in the
坚
course
持
of
人与
development,
自然和谐共
promote
生，
harmony between
协同推
humanity
进
and
人
nature,
民
and
富裕
take well-coordinated steps
国家强盛
towards making our
中国
people
美丽
prosperous, our nation strong, and our country beautiful.
中华民族拥有在
The
5000多
Chinese
年历史
nation
演
has
进中形
fostered
成的
a splendid
灿烂
civilization over more than 5,000 years of
中国共
history.
产党拥有百
The
年奋
party
斗
has
实践
also acquired
和70多
a
年
wealth
执
of
政兴
experience
国
through its endeavors
经验
over the past 100 years and during more than
我们
70 years of
积极
governance.
学习借鉴
At the same time,
人类
we are
文
also
明的
eager
一
to
切
learn what lessons
有
we
益
can
成
from
果
the achievements of other
欢迎
cultures
一切有
and
益
welcome
的
helpful
建议
suggestions
和善意
and
的
constructive
批评，
criticism.
但我们绝不接受
We will not, however,
教师爷般
accept
颐使气质的说
sanctimonious
教。
preaching from those who feel they have the right to lecture us.
中国共产党和中国人民
The party and the Chinese
将在自
people
己选择的道路上
will
昂首
keep
阔步
moving
走下去。
confidently forward. in broad strides along the path that we have chosen for ourselves, and we will make sure the destiny of China's development and progress remains firmly in our own hands. We must accelerate the modernization of national defense and the armed forces. A strong country must have a strong military, as only then can it guarantee the security of the nation. At the point that it was engaged in violent struggle, the party came to recognize the irrefutable truth that it must command the gun and build a people's military of its own. The people's military has made indelible achievements on behalf of the party and the people. It is a strong pillar for safeguarding our socialist country and preserving national dignity, and a powerful force for protecting peace in our region and beyond. On the journey ahead, we must fully implement the party's thinking on strengthening the military in the new era, as well as our military strategy for the new era. Maintain the party's absolute leadership over the people's armed forces, and follow a Chinese path to military development. We will take comprehensive measures to enhance the political loyalty of the armed forces, to strengthen them through reform and technology and the training of competent personnel, and to run them in accordance with the law. We will elevate our people's armed forces to world-class standards so that we are equipped with greater capability and more reliable means for safeguarding our national sovereignty, security, and development interests. We must continue working to promote the building of a human community with a shared future. Peace, concord, and harmony are ideas the Chinese nation has pursued and carried forward for more than 5,000 years. The Chinese nation does not carry aggressive or hegemonic traits in its genes. The party cares about the future of humanity and wishes to move forward in tandem with all progressive forces around the world. China has always worked to safeguard world peace, contribute to global development, and preserve international order. On the journey ahead, we will remain committed to promoting peace, development, cooperation, and mutual benefit, to an independent foreign policy of peace, and to the path of peaceful development. We will work to build a new type of international relations and a human community with a shared future. Promote high-quality development of the Belt and Road Initiative through joint efforts, and use China's new achievements in development to provide the world with new opportunities. The party will continue to work with all peace-loving countries and peoples to promote the shared human values of peace, development, fairness, justice, democracy, and freedom. To champion cooperation over confrontation. To open up rather than closing our doors, and to focus on mutual benefits instead of zero-sum games.
反对霸权主义和
We will
强权
oppose
政治，
hegemony and power
推动
politics
历史车轮向
and
着光
strive to
明的
keep
目
the
标
wheels
前
of
进。
history rolling toward bright horizons.
中国人民
We Chinese
是崇尚正义、不
are
畏强暴的
the
人民，
people who uphold justice and are
中华
not
民族
intimidated by
是具有
threats of
强烈
force.
民族自豪
As a
感。
nation, we have a strong
自信心
sense
的
of
民族。
pride and confidence.
中国人民从来没有欺
We
负、
have never bullied,
压迫、
oppressed,
奴役过其他国
or
家人民。
subjugated the people of any other country.
过去没有，现在没有，将来也
And
不会
we
有。
never will.
同时，中国人
By
民
the same
也
token,
绝不允
we
许
will
任
never
何外
allow
来势
any
力
foreign
欺
force
负、
to bully,
压迫、
oppress,
奴役我
or
们。
subjugate
谁妄想这样干，
anyone
必将在
who
十
would
字
attempt to
中
do
中国
so
人民
will find themselves
用血肉
on a collision
铸
course
成的钢铁
with a
长
great
城面
wall
前
of steel
碰得
forged by
头破
over
血流。
1.4 billion Chinese people.
以史为鉴，开创未来，必须进行具有
We
许多
must
新的历
carry
史特
out
点的伟大
a
斗
great
争，
struggle with many
敢
contemporary
于斗争
teachers.
敢于胜利。
Having the courage to fight
是中国
and the
共产党
fortitude to
不可
win
战胜的
is what
强大
has made
精
our
神力量。
party invincible.
实现伟大梦想，
Realizing our great
就要
dream
顽强拼搏，
will require hard
不
work
懈奋斗。
and persistence.
今天，我们比历史上任何时期
Today,
都更接近，
we are closer,
更有信心和
more
能力
confident, and more capable
实现中
than
华民
ever
族伟
before
大复兴
of
的目
making the
标。
goal of national
同
rejuvenation
时，
a reality.
必须准备付
But
出
we must be prepared
更
to
为
work
艰巨、
harder than ever to
更
get
为
there.
艰苦的努力。新的征程上，
On the journey
我们
ahead,
必须增强
we must
忧患意识，
demonstrate stronger vigilance
始终居安思危
and，always be prepared for
贯彻
potential
总体
danger
国家安
even
全
in
观，
times of calm. We must
统
adopt
筹
a
发展
holistic approach
和
to
安全，
national security that balances
统
development
筹
and
中华民
security
族伟大复
imperatives
兴战略
and
全局
implement the national rejuvenation
和
strategy
世界
within
百
a
年
wider
未有
context
之大
of the
变革，
once in a century changes taking place
深刻
in
认
the
识我
world.
国社会
We
主
need
要矛
to
盾变
acquire
化
a full understanding
带来的
of the
新
new
特征
features and
新要求，
requirements arising from the
深刻
change
认识
to the principal
错综复
contradiction
杂
in
的
Chinese society
国际
and the
环境
new
带来的
issues
新矛盾、新挑战，
and challenges stemming from a complicated
斗争
international environment.
善于斗争，
We must be both brave and
逢山
adapt in
开道，
carrying out our courage and
遇
struggle,
水架
forging
桥，
new paths and building
勇
new
于战
bridges
胜
whenever
一切
necessary to
风
take
险
us
挑战。
past all risks and challenges.
以史为鉴，开创未来，必须加强
We
中华儿
must
女
strengthen
大团结，
the great unity of the Chinese people.
在百年奋斗历程中，
In the course of our struggles over
中
the
国共
past
产党始
century,
终把统一战线
the party has
摆在重要
always
位置。
placed the united front in a position of
不断巩
importance.
固和发展最广
We
泛
have
的统一
constantly
战线，
consolidated and developed the
团
broadest
结一切
possible
可以
united
团结的力
front,
量，
united all
调
the
动一
forces
切可
that
以
can
调
be
动的积
united,
极因素，
mobilized all possible
最
and
大限度
positive
凝
factors
最大
that can be
限度
mobilized
凝聚起
and pulled as
共同
much
奋斗的力
strands
量。
as possible for collective endeavors.
爱国统一战线是
The
中国
patriotic
共产党
united front
团结海内外全
is
体中华儿女，实现中华民族伟大复兴的
important means for the
重要
party
法
to
宝。
unite all the sons and daughters of the Chinese
新的
nation,
征程
both
上
at home and abroad, behind the goal
我
of
们
national
必须坚持
rejuvenation.
大团结，
On the journey
大
ahead,
联合，
we must ensure great unity and
坚持一致
solidarity
性
and a
和
balance,
多样性统一，
commonality and diversity.
加强思想政治引领，
We should strengthen theoretical
广泛凝聚共
and
识，
political guidance,
广聚天下
build
英
broad
才，
consensus,
努力寻
and
求
bring together
最
the
大
brightest
公约数，
minds and expand common
画
ground
出最大同心圆，
and the convergence of
形成
interests,
海内外全体
so
中华
that
儿女
all Chinese people,
兴旺一
both
处
at
想，
home and overseas,
兴旺
can
一处使的
focus
生
their
动局
ingenuity
面，
and energy
汇聚起实
on the
现
same
民族
goal
复
and
兴
come
的
together as a
磅礴
mighty
力量。
force for realizing national rejuvenation.
"以史为鉴，开创未来"，必须不断
We
推进
must
党的
continue
建
to
设
advance the
新
great
的
new
伟大工
project
程，
of party building.
勇于自我革命，是中国共产党区别于其他
A
政党
hallmark
的
that
显著标志。
distinguishes the Communist Party of China from other political parties
我们党
is
历
its
经
courage in
千锤百
undertaking
炼
self-reform.
而朝气蓬
An
勃，
important reason why the party remains so
很重要的
vital and
原因
vibrant despite
就是
having
我们
undergone
始
so
终
many
坚持党
trials
要还
and
党，
tribulations
全
is that
面
it
从严
practices
治党，
effective
不断
self-supervision
应对好自身
and full
在
and
各个
rigorous
历史时期面临的
self-governance.
风险考
It
验，
has thus been able to respond appropriately to the
确
risks
保我们
and
党在
tests
世
of
界形
different
势
historical
深
periods
刻变化的
to
历史进
ensure
程
that
中，
it always remains at
始终走在时代
the
前列，
forefront of the times,
在
even
应对
as
国内
profound
外各
changes
种风险
sweep
挑战
the
的
global
历史进
landscape,
程中，始终
and
成为
to
全国
stand
人民
firm
的
as the
主
backbone
心
of the
骨。
nation throughout the process of meeting various risks and challenges at home and abroad.
新的征程上，我们要牢
On
记
the journey ahead,
打铁
we must keep
必须
firmly in
自
mind
身硬的
the
道理，
old adage that it takes a good
增强
blacksmith
全
to
面
make
从严
good
治党，
steel. We
永
must
远在
demonstrate
路上
greater
的政治
political
自
awareness
觉，
of the fact that full and rigorous
以党
self-governance
的
is a
政治建设为
never-ending
统
journey.
领，继续推
With
进
strengthening
新
the
时代
party politically
党的
as
建
our
设
overarching principle,
新的
we must
伟大
continue
工程，
advancing the great new project of party building
不
in the
断严
new
密
era.
党的组织体系，
We must tighten the party's
着力
organizational
建设
system,
德才兼
work
备的
hard
高素
to
质
train high
干部
caliber
队伍，
officials who have both moral integrity and
坚定不
professional
移推进
competence.
党风廉政建
Remain
设
committed
和
to
反腐败
improving
斗
party
争，
conduct, upholding integrity
坚决
and combating
清除一
corruption,
切
and
损
root
害
out
党的先
any
进性
elements that would
和
harm the
纯洁
party's
性的
advanced
因素，
nature and purity,
清除一切
and any viruses
侵蚀党的健康机体
that
的
would
病毒，
erode its health.
确保党
We must ensure that the party preserves its essence,
不变味儿，
color, and character,
确保党
and see that
在新
it
时代
always
坚持和发展中国特色
serves
社会主
as
义
the
的
strong leadership core in the
历史进
course of
程中
upholding and
始终
developing
成为
socialism
坚强
with
领导
Chinese
核心。
characteristics in the new era.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
我们要全面、准确贯彻一
we
国
will
两
stay
制。
true to the letter and the spirit of the principle of one country, two systems, under which the people of Hong Kong administered Hong Kong and the people of Macau administered Macau,
对香港、澳
both
门
with a
特别
high
行政
degree
区
of autonomy.
全
We
面
will ensure
管
that the
制权，
central government exercise overall jurisdiction over Hong Kong and
落实特
Macau,
别行政区维护
and
国家
implement
安全的法律制
the
度，
legal system and
和执行
enforcement
机制，
mechanisms for the two special administrative
维护国家主
regions
权安
to
全发展利
safeguard
益，
national security,
维护
while
特别行政
protecting
区
China's
社会大局稳
sovereignty,
定，
security, and development
保持香港、
interests.
澳
We will
门
ensure social
长期
stability in Hong Kong and
繁荣
Macau
稳定，
and maintain lasting prosperity and stability in the two special administrative
解决
regions,
台湾问题，
resolving the
实
Taiwan
现祖
question
国完全统
and
一，
realizing China's complete
是中
reunification
国共产党矢志不渝
is
的
a
历史任
historic
务。
mission and unshakable commitment of the Communist Party of China. It is also a shared aspiration of all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation.
要坚持一个
We
中
will
国原
uphold
则，
the one country
和
principle
92
and the 1992 consensus
推进祖国
and advance
和平统一，
peaceful national
进程。
reunification.
包括两岸同胞
All of
在内的
us,
所有中华儿
compatriots
女，
on both sides of the
要
Taiwan
和
Strait,
衷共济，
must come together
团结向
and
前，
move forward.
坚决粉
In
碎任
unison,
何
we must
台
take
独图谋
resolute action to utterly
共创
defeat any attempt
民族
toward
复
Taiwan
兴
independence and work together
美好未来
to create a bright future for national rejuvenation.
任何人
No one
都不要低估
should
中国人
underestimate
民捍
the
卫国家
resolve,
主权
the will,
和
and
领土
ability
完整
of the
的
Chinese people
坚强
to
决
defend
心
their national sovereignty
坚定意
and
志
territorial
强大能力
integrity. Comrades and friends,
未来属于青
the
年，
future belongs to the
希
young
望寄予
people,
青年。
and our hopes also rest with them.
100年前，
A century ago,
一群新青
a
年
group of young
高举马
progressives
克思主义思想
held
火炬，
aloft the torch of
在
Marxism
风雨如晦的中国苦苦探寻
and searched
民族复兴的
assiduously
前
in
途。
those dark years for ways to
100
rejuvenate the
年来
Chinese nation. Since
在
then,
中国共产党的旗帜下，
under the banner of the Communist
一
Party
代
of
代中
China,
国青年
generation after generation
把青年
of young
奋斗
Chinese
融入党和
have
人民事业，
devoted their youth to the cause
成
of
为
the
实现
party
中华民
and
族
the
伟大
people
复兴的先
and
锋力
remain
量。
in the vanguard of the drive to rejuvenate the
新时
nation.
代的中国青年
In the new era,
要以
Our
实
young
现中华
people
民族伟大复兴为己
should
任，
make it their mission to contribute
增强
to
做
national rejuvenation
中国人的
and aspire
志气、
to become
骨
more
气、
proud, confident,
底气、
and assured
不负
in
时
their
代、
identity as Chinese people
不
so
负
that they
韶
can
华、
live up to the promise of their youth
不负党
and
和人民的
expectations
殷
of
切
our
希望。
times, our party, and our people. Comrades and friends,
100年前，
a century ago,
中国共产党成立时
at
只有
the
50
time
多
of
名
its
党员
founding, the Communist Party of China
今天
had just
已经成为
over
拥有
50 members.
9500
Today,
多万
with
名
more
党
than
员
95 million members
领导
in
着
the
14
country
亿多人
of
口
more
大
than
国，
1.4 billion
具有重
people,
大全
it
球
is the
影响力
largest
的
governing party in the world
第一大执政党。100年前，
and enjoys tremendous international influence.
呈现在
A
世
century
界
ago,
面前的是一派
China was
衰败凋零的景象。
decline and withering away in the eyes of the world.
中华民族
Today,
向世界
the
展
image
现
it
的是
presents to the world
一派
is
欣
one
欣
of a
向荣的
thriving
气
nation
象，正以不可
that is
阻挡的步
advancing
伐
with
迈
unstoppable
向伟
momentum
大复兴。
toward rejuvenation.
过去100年，
Over the past
中
century,
国共产党人向人民和历史交出了一份
the Communist Party of
优异的
China
答
has
卷。
secured extraordinary historical achievements
现
on
在
behalf of the people.
中国共产党团
Today,
结带领
it
中
is
国人
rallying
民
and leading the Chinese
又踏
people
上了实现
on a
第二
new
个百
journey
年奋斗目
toward
标
realizing
新
the
的
second
赶考路。
centenary goal.
全体中国共产党
To
员，
all party members,
党中央号
the
召你
Central
们
Committee calls on every one of you
牢记初心使
to
命，
stay true to our party's
坚定
founding
理想
mission
信念，
and stand firm in your ideals and
践行
convictions,
党的宗旨，
acting on the purpose of the party.
永远保持
You should always
同人民群众的血肉联
maintain
系，
close ties with the people,
始终同人民想在一起，
emphasize and work with them,
干在一起，
stand with them
风雨同舟，
through good times
同
and
甘
bad,
共苦，
and continue
继续为实现人民对
working tirelessly
美好生活的
to
向往，
realize their aspirations
不
for
懈
a
努
better
力，
life
努力为党和
and
人民
to bring
争取
still
更大
greater
光荣。
glory to the party and the people.
同志们、朋友们，
Comrades and friends,
中国共产党立志于中华民族
Today,
千秋伟业，
100 years on
百
from
年
its
恰是
founding,
风
the
华
Communist
正茂。
Party of China is still in its prime
回首过去，
and remains as
展
determined
望未来，
as ever to achieve
有中
lasting
国共
greatness
产
for
党
the
的
Chinese
坚
nation.
强领导，
Looking back on the past, we have traveled and
有
forward
全
to
国
the
各族
journey
人
that
民
lies
的
ahead.
紧密团
It is
结，
certain that with the firm leadership of the
全面
party
建成
and the
社
great
会主义
unity of the
现代化
Chinese
强
people
国的
of
目
all
标
ethnic groups, we will
一定能够
achieve the
实
goal
现。
of building a great modern
中华
socialist
民
country
族
in all
伟
respects
大复兴
and
的中国
fulfill the
梦
Chinese dream
一定能
of
够实
national
现。
rejuvenation.
伟大、光荣、正确
Long
的
live
中国共
our
产
great
党
glories
万
and
岁！
correct party.
伟大、光荣、
Long
英
live
雄
our
的中
great
国人
glories
民！
and heroic
万岁！
people.
中
Please all rise
奏国旗歌。
to the Internationale. Ceremony marking the centenary of the Communist Party of China now concludes.
Now the official agenda for the celebration marking the 100th anniversary of the founding of the CPC has concluded. We're still watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square. This is shown almost familiar to everyone in China, Ode to Motherland.
That's right. Well, this is a milestone for the CPC and for the 1.4 billion people it represents.
And over the past 100 years, China has made great strides forward on various fronts, from economy and trade to infrastructure and urbanization. Under the CPC's leadership, Chinese people's livelihood has greatly improved. And earlier this year, China has announced it ended extreme poverty by the end of 2020. And the CPC says it aims to continue improving people's happiness and welfare with greater efforts in the years ahead.
We've been watching this whole event and we could see this outpouring of emotion, of enthusiasm, of passion for the political party on this day, on this very important occasion. The CPC has traveled a journey of 100 years and is now entering a new century.
And it's because the CPC is not only a political organization, a political party, but more importantly, in the Chinese context, it comes from the Chinese people. It's part of the people and it serves the people.
Exactly.
You're watching live footage from Tian'anmen Square.
Now, balloons are being released into the sky, signifying hope for a better future. And also we could see the young representatives, the heirs of the Communist Party members. They also expressed their determination to follow the path under the leadership of the CPC.
And people from all walks of life in China have joined this jubilant occasion on Tian'anmen Square.
Indeed, this is once-in-a-century gathering. And really, it reminds us of where it all started. 100 years ago, in 1921, in Shanghai, over 50 communist members.
Yeah, representatives of
50
also.
And there were
members,
actually
right?
just more than a handful of them. And then now it grew to 95 million strong.
Right. And that was the celebration marking the centenary of the Communist Party of China. Chinese President, also the General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, Xi Jinping, delivered a keynote speech. He announced that the CPC has realized its first centenary goal.
And has realized to build a moderately prosperous society. And now the country is moving into the next stage. General Secretary Xi Jinping also paid tribute to revolutionaries, pioneers, and also his predecessors and the people who have fought for the great cause of the CPC over the past century.
And Xi Jinping also looked back at a 100-year epic journey of the CPC, summarized the experiences, but more importantly, laid out plans for the future.
Exactly, and he repeatedly stressed learning from history. And then, of course, the Chinese nation is aiming for the next target, the next centenary goal, which is to construct a modern socialist country. And now, let's hear from our guests here in the studio. Thank you for staying with us throughout the morning, throughout the hours. We were listening to this major speech by General Secretary Xi Jinping. What have been your major impression of that speech?
Well, I'm truly impressed by the speech and the entire ceremony this morning. I think there are several points I'd like to make. And number one, I think during the speech given by Secretary General Xi Jinping, he emphasized that the party in the past 100 years and also China and Chinese people have trekked a very difficult path. In other words, today we should not take for granted what we have today. What we have today is hard-won. You know, we overcome so many difficulties to reach where we are today. And second, I think the speech also emphasized the importance of a centralized ideology, which has been adapted from orthodox Marxism to be compatible with the Chinese situation. And the Chinese situation is changing fast. So it takes the party to constantly keeping up to date with the changing reality. And thirdly, I think the speech also emphasizes the importance of people. And these include the historical figures and pioneers who sacrificed their lives for building a modern socialist country of where we are today, but also the day-to-day people around us